Traders Channel, and I said that we was going to be back at it at 1 o'clock, right? And lo and behold, it's 1:06, a tad short. But however, excuse me, we are back at it with the business of boxing. Now dig this here: Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney rematch. How does that sound to you? And is that a fight that we really want to see? I'm giving you a little time to contemplate that before we dive in, right? Because me personally, uh, man, I don't really care about this fight. You know what I mean? There's a lot of particulars involved in this fight, right? And the narrative that there is A side, B side, and the running argument already is Ryan Garcia is the A side, right? Contrary to the fact that we all know, even those that that defend Ryan Garcia and his Austrian usage during the fight with Devin Haney, during the time that he's allegedly, so-called, won that event. But that decision was turned around and made a no contest because Ryan Garcia, the prolific drug chief, right, was tested positive for Austrian, and the New York State Boxing Commission did the honorable thing and made that event a no contest. He also suspended Ryan Garcia for a year. Now, the subjective, the subjective notion that contrary to all of these ramifications Ryan Garcia has subjected himself to, right? How is it possible that he is still should be still considered as the A side, specifically toward a boxer, excuse me, an accomplished boxer such as Devin the Dream Haney? How is that possible? I mean, when you weigh A side versus B side, at the end of the day, we're talking about a monetary gain, the A side versus the B side. There is more money driven by the A side than there is for the B side, right? Contrary to the fact that there is nothing in Devin Haney's history that indicates that he has did something foul in the sport of boxing. But yet, Ryan Garcia, if this fight goes to fruition, and it will, guarantee you, and I'm going to get to that, and it will go to fruition, that fight will be made, right? And Ryan Garcia, by the well being of those in charge, which is, at this juncture would be on a take some of the sting out of it, but I'm getting back to that sting, right? Zuffa Boxing, right? Zuffa Boxing is basically a byproduct of Turkey Al Sheep. But Dana White is the author of basically Who Fights Who and the driving force behind the promotion, right? Now, let me say this in all fairness to Zuffa Boxing, right? I don't know how in the hell Turkey Al Sheep chose Dana White, in my opinion, a known racist, right, to head with him Zuffa Boxing. Now, I probably will get a lot of slack for making mention of that, right? But look, when you come to the Boxers Trainers Channel, right, be prepared to be gratified if you end up telling the truth by the things that I say versus the things that other new media, and old media wouldn't dare say. There's a lot of negative moving parts as far as I'm concerned with the way things are done, right, with Zuffa Boxing. I'm not going to go off into the details of what I mean by that. What I'm saying is this: as a human being and as a Muslim, right? I have to look at myself in the mirror when I make certain proposals in regards to, especially the sport of boxing and my Islamic beliefs, right? So I don't want to get off into the yays and nays of Islam when it comes to the sport of boxing, right? But I am quite sure those that practice Islam, because that's what we all are. We are practicing Muslims, right? We practice at an attempt to be perfected. No, excuse, to be I want to say perfect, but that's not realistic. But that is the term that Muslims use, right? So that we won't make the mistakes that the world makes, right? A Muslim has an obligation to follow the dictates of the Quran and the Hadith. You know what I mean? So we don't want to get off into the fundamentals of Islam, but I am basically making a point here, right? That people like me need to have a say so in the things that affects boxing, right? I am a no nonsense, realistic black man. Play no games and don't want none played on me. So I said that to say that the voice of those that think like me should be better prepared to deal with the incoming nonsense associated with boxing. And for that reason, I really dislike this A side, B side, because it really makes a hell of a statement toward who is the best boxer and why the best boxer isn't being labeled or positioned to be the A side. That's crazy to me. Oh no, here we're talking about Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney is 3 times, 3 divisions world champion. 1 time undisputed lightweight champion of the world. First, historically speaking, of the full belt era, right? Now, if that not is not enough, he also has the was also the former WBC junior welterweight champion of the world. He is presently the WBO welterweight champion of the world, right? So let's be perfectly clear. In order for boxing to stabilize itself, right, it has to come to terms with what's in the best interest of boxing and not human beings. You know what I'm saying? When I say that, I mean it's not in the best interest of money. I'm not going to go tell you. I'm not going to explain that. I can't. You know, no. It's not that I can't. I'm not going to, because it will totally offend certain people on the top tier of boxing, right? And not that I'm really concerned about offending somebody, but the fact of the matter is I have to work within the purview of certain people that I contend with. That is because I think that's the way they want it. You know what I'm saying? But let me say this. This rematch between Devin the Dream Haney and Ryan Garcia is going to bring a lot of money. And I just hope that the contractual arrangements for Devin Haney, not so much for Ryan Garcia, but for Devin Haney, right, is apropos to the finances that are being used to make the fight and the finances that will be made, right, for this fight. There was a lot of money invested in this fight. If this fight, no, let me stop with the F, right? When this fight comes to fruition, a lot of money, right? I mean, unimaginable amounts of money, right? And my thing is this: I already know that both parties, Ryan Garcia and Devin the Dream Haney, have already made contractual arrangement for this fight. And I just hope that somewhere in that contract, there is room to come back and renegotiate the value of what is being paid to Ryan Garcia and Devin the Dream Haney. That's my hopes, right? I mean, I would, man, look, I already know a lot of things about Islam and boxing that the majority of the people don't know, right? Let me say this. There is plenty of room for adjustments. There is plenty of room for adjustment. Listen to me when I say that, right? And the thing about confronting that portion or that part of boxing, right, remains in the eyes of the beholder. Those that are in a position to understand that, do something about it. That being said, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't run. I've already said this. I don't care too much about this fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, first of all, I really believe after this fight, no, excuse me, when this fight comes to fruition, right? Ryan Garcia was and still is to me an easy win. He's an easy win. Given the right strategy, Ryan Garcia is actually food, as well as Xander Zaya. They're food. For a experienced, and look, Devin Haney, and this is not mentioned very much, right? Devin Haney is a journeyman professional. He's a journeyman in the sport of boxing, right? For a journeyman boxer to get in the ring with a Ryan Garcia, a clean Ryan Garcia, this had nothing to do with Xander Zayas. And Xander Zayas, right? They're easy work. A few minor adjustments, a few, for Devin the Dream Haney. And I doubt very seriously that anybody is going to be able to whoop Devin the Dream. The fight that I would like to see come to fruition is Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Devin the Dream Haney. That's the fight. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather Jr. left boxing mad at Devin Haney because Devin Haney kind of like dogged him in sparring, and he never got that teeth out of his mouth. And I'm quite sure today that taste still remains. Wouldn't that be a hell of a fight? You heard it first on the Boxing Trainers channel. And let the record reflect that I'm going to push and promote that fight. Floyd has came out of boxing. Let's see if we can get that fight made. What do you say, Bill Haney? To my friend, before I go, I think that urgency persists, that you be a little more stern in the business scheme of things when it comes to boxing. Nothing disrespectful meant by that. You're an amazing dude, and you're one of my best friends. And that's why I say that. You know what I'm saying? The hell with the rest of the world thinks about how you represent DHP. But make damn sure, brother, that you continue to represent DHP well and firmly. That being said, man, look here, y'all. You already know. Don't cost a dime to hit that subscription button. Don't cost nothing to hit that like button. Drop a comment in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about this fight when it comes to fruition. Because, like I said, it's coming to fruition because the swinging pendulum of money, right, necessitates this fight must be made. That being said, I'm gone, y'all.